Okay, welcome. This is the March 6th, what are we? The Appointment Subcommittee to discuss the appointment of...
It's yours, right?
Yes.
And you need it.
Jane Sakowitz for Personnel Director. Oh my goodness.
Such a secretary.
Just one? Because you could have two. I'm going to give you two.
Still working the last minutes of this forever.
Okay, so we don't have any minutes. Anyone here from the public who would like to speak? No. So tonight we're going to consider the mayoral appointment of Jane Sakowitz, the Personnel Director, with a term expiration of December 31st, 2021. Okay, now.
A 2-year appointment?
Pardon me?
2-year appointment?
Apparently. Might have wanted to check that first, just saying. So Jane comes to us from the most recent City of Westfield as their Personnel Director. Prior to that, she was the Easthampton Personnel Director, and prior to that was on the Housing Authority as the Executive Director. Wow, look at you. And then she had a life before that, but we don't care. And so, I'm going to ask you, if you would be so kind, just to kind of, a little bit of what we talked about on the phone today, just kind of the why, you know, what you learned, all that kind of stuff. So, I'll give it up to Jane.
My background is I have an MBA and I have my certification, my designation of professional and human resources, and I also have my designation as IPMACP, which is the the equivalent of the Municipal World Certification for HR Directors.
Oh, okay.
It's International Public Management Association. And I left here for what I thought would be the career move, to go to a bigger city. Westfield is pushing about 2,000 employees. It was responsible director of payroll, benefits, and HR. So I went saying it was the career move, a little bit of peer pressure saying you should do it. And I realize now I'm happier here.
Oh.
I like working in Easthampton. I like the people. Easthampton is a good-sized city, but it's, you know, when someone walks in my door, when I left last time, I could put a name to a face. Mm-hmm. And it was, how can I help you, Bill? How can I, you know, it wasn't, how can I help you, and you are who?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I like it because it's a variety. It always keeps, I mean, I've been back 2 weeks now, 2+ weeks, and it's been go, go, go the entire time.
This morning when we talked briefly, you mentioned that you learned a lot when you went to Westfield. What kind of things did you take from there and you'll bring back here?
I learned they are, well, let's talk about what's before the council tonight. Westfield is self-insured.
Okay.
And I was actually the trust administrator.
Okay.
So I saw it from a different point of view. They have the IAC, they have the PEC, you know, so I went through all of that. I went through adding additional benefits. They had no optional benefits for the employees. So I brought in a company, what we use here, American Fidelity, and offered it to all the employees. Did a lot with, they had 17 unions, so I learned a lot about dealing with unions, negotiating with unions, a lot of work with, they were self-insured for both workers' comp and IOD, injured on duty for fire and police. So I did a lot with managing those and what to look for and how to do that. I did a lot with when an officer or firefighter is injured and disabled, permanently disabled, you can file for accidental disability retirement. So I went through that process a couple times. So I think I can bring that back to the table here, and I think it's just more hands-on experience that, even though it may not be specific to Easthampton, I think it helps in other ways.
It goes in your tool belt, as they
Does.
say.
Apply it to other situations.
Yeah, exactly. Great, great. So, I'm trying to think of what I was going to ask you. So you were gone, what, 2 years? A little over 2 years,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I don't know that I have anything, I mean, I'm familiar with your work. So I don't know that I have anything. Do you guys have any questions specifically?
I said because this also comes up sometimes for us. What does self-insured mean? Does that mean literally you act as paying the hospital as well as, I mean, and you guys have to raise own money to pay the claims?
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a revolving fund, a revolving account, and
Their premiums go into it and then you pay from that?
there are premiums because
Oh, people don't have to pay
You
for
just-
this? They must have
no,
to pay.
for workers' comp. you
No,
know,
I'm talking health
for
insurance.
Health insurance.
Health insurance, the city, the premiums go in, yes.
Okay.
So when the deductions come out, they go into the pot.
Uh-huh.
The city's money goes into the pot, and
Is there anything else that goes into that pot? Like, do you seed it with money?
the city has budget
Okay.
line items for it, because it also has, we have the consultant to watch over our rates and check on rates. We had you also have expenses like the fiduciary liability insurance, so, there's other expenses that come with it.
You know how I've always heard like the big insurance companies, when the doctor submits the bill for $10,000, they can say, well, we'll pay you $5,000.
Yes.
But from a smaller perspective, do you have that negotiating party? Can you
What we
say
did
that?
was we had an administrator that did the claims and then just sent us a bill saying, here's what you gotta pay.
Okay, so someone had the pull to be able to knock the cost down?
Correct.
Okay.
Because for health insurance, it's, they negotiate it, but for like workers' comp or IOD, they go by workers' comp rates, state rates, so.
Yeah.
How does that work with, probably it works better because you have a lot more employees, so your actuarial, your sickness thing, like, is it an especially ill town? Like how does that work if you get like some serious catastrophic illnesses?
Each year
That could deplete you.
that I would be negotiating the new rates for the employees, it would be, the consultants would say, you've had 6 really good years. You're due. You can't rely on this.
Yeah.
Don't think it's a good. And I know we had, before I left, there were 3 catastrophic claims that are gonna just.
So do you have insurance against that?
They
some
do
way?
have the stop loss coverage.
Okay.
So that was another thing. I was responsible for negotiating the stop loss, that when a claim
Yeah.
reaches a certain dollar amount, then the insurance kicks in.
Okay. Wow. I bet that was daunting.
Yeah. Well, let me just add my 2 cents. I got to work with James, our previous son here, and you were so qualified then, and dealing with a very difficult time letting go of an assessor.
Oh, that's
And she was very instrumental in that, and being careful with
following because
all the information.
because it was a council appointment.
Right,
so they
yeah,
have to
so it
follow
was,
procedures.
so I'm thrilled to see her back. I think it's an asset to the city for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
No, basically she answered one of my questions was like why she moved from Easthampton, talking about work, why she decided to go from Easthampton to Westfield, and after that, why you coming back, and why you bringing from the big city to our city, and basically she already answered.
I think that all in all, always was happier in Easthampton.
Who isn't?
I mean, seriously. Come on. Okay, I will take a motion to approve Jaden Sakowitz as the personnel director with term expiration of
So
12/31/21.
move.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. All opposed, abstained, motion passes. Congratulations, you now have one more hurdle. They are vicious, I'm just saying. Good luck to you. One other thing I wanted to, I know we had, since our agenda broadly talks about discussion of appointment process, proposed changes, I'm going to assume that I can pass these out to you guys. So basically, I got an email this week from somebody who had been approved for the CRC wondering if they were approved.
Yeah.
And so I emailed the mayor and heard back from Lindsay, and she gave me copies of all of the templates of responses, and that she had mailed everything out yesterday, I believe, to all the things. But so she's got forms, this is just for your FYI, she's got forms for, thank you for your interest, we're gonna save it for future vacancies.
Okay.
She's got, we are confirming, we're happy, well, let's see, to inform you that the recommendation for your appointment was approved by the city council. That's one, other one, and then we've got, I love her name, Mr. Appleseed.
This Happy Commission.
I like that.
This one is, thank you, but no.
Oh, I've got those in my lifetime.
And then this one is, she's forwarded our name to the city, the name to the city council for consideration. So those I'm just giving you as FYI. If you want the files, I can send those to you as well. I just wanted, because it was curious to me, I didn't know what the process was. Are they the same? Because one is yes and one is no. Okay, well, whatever. Are those the same? It's probably right on the pile there. Joe probably stole it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Can I, this, I guess it's going to come up tonight.
The reconsideration of
Yeah, but
Jim Valencourt.
technically we don't, I mean,
I think the minute we didn't decline him,
right.
the reconsideration is moot.
That's what I'm saying, because my feeling is we were wrong that he was approved.
Correct.
I don't think we need to do a reconsideration.
Exactly.
So,
Because that seems kind of,
yeah, because
it gives everybody a chance now to decline him.
but also then it makes like, well, we know this is the right thing to do and we did it wrong, but we're going to pretend it.
Yeah. I think we just need to take it off the table.
Yeah, because we were incorrect that this passed, no need for reconsideration.
Correct, yeah.
So, I mean, the Dan was the idea of the reconsideration. Last time I briefly talked to him, he made some comment about, well, this is why we can do it, because that way Salem has a vote. But no, because then it clouds things. Either he was...
Then we always have to reconsider so someone else can have a vote. And
Yeah.
that's not how we want to operate.
We'll
You're
have to
either
see
here
how
or
that-
you're not here.
How that, I'm not sure
I
what
agree.
part of the agenda that's going to happen tonight.
It probably is going to be, maybe it's appointments.
Oh.
Who made the motion? Dan did.
Dan did
Yeah.
for reconsideration.
But it's probably going to fall under appointments. So maybe
Right.
when it comes to appointments, I will make a motion to remove the reconsideration from the table.
Right, because we were incorrect in that the previous vote was a vote of acceptance.
Yeah.
It did not.
I don't see it on the agenda.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's not under appointments as a reconsideration?
Appointments.
I thought I saw something.
Oh, yeah, request review the council's
Yes,
yes,
sorry, yeah.
appointments.
Yeah.
So good, so when you come to it, just say, as we all discussed, that you can even say, the committee agrees that we felt that he was approved.
Yeah.
We interpreted the charter incorrectly, he was approved, there was no need, so you'd like to make a motion to withdraw the request for reconsideration?
Yep.
One of
Okay.
us can second it.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Next meeting, March 20th?
2 weeks, the
Yeah.
20th. Yeah, 20th, 5:30.
And 5:30, okay. 30,
Now I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, abstained, motion passes. Have a nice evening.